Hey everyone. The show's been getting a lot of love lately, which we really appreciate. Thank you so much. If you guys could please review and rate it and subscribe to it and tell your friends about it on your podcatcher of choice, it would be greatly appreciated. It would really help the show out, help that algorithm get people who like us to find us. Follow us on social media too. We're SCHWARTZY, Schwartzy the podcast, everywhere. Just find us. We're on all of them. All right. Talk to you soon.
Do it. Do it. Come on. Kill me. I'm here. Come on. Do it now. Kill me.
Schwartzy the podcast. It's a Schwartzy show.
Because you're always like defining me in some way where it's like, oh, he just hates doing the podcast. I can't get him to like doing the podcast. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? I do it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Schwartzy the podcast, the Schwartzy show. I'm your host, Milenko.
And I'm your host, Alex.
And I'm your guest, Anna.
Nice to meet you.
Andre.
Yeah, Andre. So, just to give a little bit of context for Anna. Mm-hmm. Anna is a
my wife.
2019 fall of 2019 sociology master's student at York. Has a very interesting perspective on life and is my life partner.
Ooh. Yeah, all of those things are true.
Welcome to the show, babe.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Guys, we fucking did Kindergarten Cop.
Can I just
We're about to do Kindergarten Cop.
We're about to do
But the first thing that I want to say is I had no idea you say Kindergarten Cop.
Oh my god.
This is the first time I read the word Kindergarten Cop. I always thought it was Kindergarten Cop.
I thought that's how it was spelled. I was like, well, I couldn't find this. I couldn't find the movie to download it.
Yeah.
I was like, Kindergarten?
Kindergarten?
What the fuck?
I thought it was a mistake. I thought I kept downloading the wrong version of the movie. Kindergarten?
Yeah, I guess that's how it's spelled.
Kindergarten. That's what it is.
Because it is actually, you know what? So, how did you guess right off the bat?
How did you guess?
This movie, is the only movie with a German word in the title that Schwartzy's been in.
That's true.
Isn't that hilarious?
Also, it's the first time he speaks German in a movie.
Yeah.
That is another. How did you guess?
Such an outrageous thing.
How did you guess?
Guys, the Universal Films logo, so good.
I love it.
So
I love
fucking
it.
good. It's what did you think, Anna? Oh, the guy who covers the Universal theme.
Dun, 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 dun.
And then goes even higher.
Just do a cover of it. The cover of the cover.
Oh my god. I love that guy. I can't see that intro without singing it in my head.
Oh yeah, everyone sings it forever. We'll sing it in our heads.
Can I just say that by far this is one of the worst of the movies, but this is gonna be the best episode to do because it's with you and Anna.
What the fuck? One of the worst movies?
Wait, hold on. Let's get there.
Oh my god, Alex.
Dive into it.
Guys, let's get there.
Okay.
So we open up on a shopping mall, and there's this kind of crappy sort of chalk effect that's underlining all of the cast and crew names. And the opening shot is really cool, actually. It does this tracking thing. I don't know what that's called, but it tracks up, I guess, from the lower level of the mall to the upper level of a mall, a second balcony. And we see a very svelte looking Schwartzy.
I love this Schwartzy.
Oh my god.
I never thought he was super attractive as a guy, but that first shot of him with the beard and a long olive green trench coat, like rugged.
The 7 o'clock
Those
shadow.
fucking glasses are so modern.
The glasses were amazing, but also the clothes were a little bit unflattering for a person of his size.
Can I
I
just say,
disagree.
Yeah?
He
Why
looks
is-
amazing.
like, he almost looked gaunt. I was kind of shocked.
Does
Me
that
too.
shock
Me
you?
too. I wrote it down. Skinny Schwartzy with the beard. I'm into it.
Skinny Schwartzy with a beard is good.
I'm into it. Yeah, he looks good. Spiky hair, guys. The
Totally.
spiky, messy hair.
And also seemingly doesn't seem like he's wearing a wig.
Is he wearing a wig?
I don't know.
It
The
looks
other
like-
ones, he seems like he's wearing wigs.
I like the Schwartzy hair for sure.
Oh, chasing a ponytail guy.
Oh my god. Okay. So Anna, can you please say who the main star of this movie is?
The ponytail guy.
That fucking guy's ponytail.
Ponytail?
is
Yeah. And he looks like so many juicy lip dudes combined into
You better believe I wanted to talk about the juicy lips.
But the fact that like he's starting to chase Ponytail down the escalator and he pushes some woman and she goes
asshole.
no, she says shithead. Yeah. And it was like random, dude. Why did they put these lines in this movie?
Can I also say that fucking Ponytail is rocking that 90s billowy oversized suit?
Yeah, he's totally doing the Nick Slaughter look, like a low ponytail with the Hawaiian shirt.
Oh my god, this is why Anna fucking is on this show.
Don't you mean fucking 90s television show, tropical heat and sweating blood, Canadianly produced, Florida based. It was based in Florida but filmed in Canada, and like all of the like Florida stuff was filmed on like green screen. It was like terrible show.
But very important for Serbia. Like for some reason, it was one of the like I don't know, most prominent shows that aired at that time. I don't know why. People just loved it. It was super important.
So to
And
give
then-
wait, hold on. Can I just give context for
You can
Anna?
totally give
Anna
context
like
for it.
lived in Serbia her whole life and grew up there, and that's where we met and got married and then moved to Canada. So Anna's perspective is like totally fucking
Yeah, I spent my whole life in Serbia. That's where I grew up. That's where all my references are from. That's how I saw the world until I moved here 3 years ago. And now I'm rocking the Canada lifestyle.
And can we take a moment to compliment Anna's fabulous accent?
Anna.
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 Nobody knows how to say Anna's name because it's like Anna, or it's either Anna or Anna.
It can't ever be Anna.
Well, it's hard.
Why is it hard?
It's just not like a kind of sound that's produced in English usually.
In the same way that
Because we
and
say like a-
the are like the Serbian equivalent. Like nobody can say the or that in
Yeah.
Serbia. It's
Yeah.
always
It's
dat
dat.
or
Yeah.
and duh.
But I think it's
this.
The Wolf of the Wall Street.
the Wolf of the Wall Street.
Nobody knows where to put the.
Nobody ever knows where to put
The
the.
is a stupid word anyway.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, though?
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Well, they can say like it's just not in the beginning of sentence. Like not
That's
in the
true.
beginning of a name. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
why. Like it's
Yeah.
just
So anyway, two tweakers in the movie have information for Ponytail
Yes.
about where his son is and where his, I guess, ex-wife is. And one of the tweakers, the male tweaker tells the female tweaker to like hide or whatever while they're trying to blackmail this dude for money.
Yeah.
Ponytail for money.
Yes. Can I just say before we continue that the like writing that they wrote kindergarten cop in looks like the font Andy from like those stock fonts. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Totally.
I don't.
Be like, had a thing.
Oh, did you guys love his butt chin? I loved his butt chin so much.
Ponytail?
Yeah.
I won't. Cullen
Chris.
No, is
I
this
like
Chris?
Chris was a good name. They
Like
repeated it a lot.
Yeah, they did do.
I love the villain.
I love the
the
villain
villain being named
and
Chris.
the villain mom.
No, mom is the true.
Yeah, mom is the true
And I
villain.
love that. It's so interesting.
But we'll get to their
that.
weird pervert relationship.
Okay. So the guy, Danny, who's the tweaker, is a terrible actor.
A terrible actor.
And have you ever had that moment where like you want to ask your boss for more money and you undercut yourself immediately? Because that's what Danny does. He's like, and I was thinking $1,000, but also like 750.
More than enough, yeah.
And not
was
just
so funny.
that, but when he's described, like Ponytail is like, what does my son look like?
Oh,
my
yeah.
son. And Tweaker is like, he looks very healthy. He's in a healthy neighborhood.
Oh,
It's
yeah, I was
like weird, like Nazi, what is this?
I was like, healthy?
Healthy? Hey, he looks really healthy, boss. And it's like, whoa, dude, what is up? Like, why are you using these words?
And also he's like, and she looks like $1 million. Actually, $3 million.
That was such a good joke.
Yeah,
Because
it
it's
is.
a good joke because apparently she like sold $3 million from him, or at least that's what he's been telling everyone.
Yeah, so he's talking shit around town that his ex-wife has stolen $3 million from him because he's like a successful drug dealer. Like, how is this guy? This guy
Looks and acts like a child.
He seemed to be like Buster.
Oh my god, dude!
Yes!
I wrote
This entire time I couldn't wait.
totally the whole time it was sister is my new mother.
Oh,
like
yes.
literally
Sister's my new mother.
so many times.
I
was
looked up that drop to put into
Yeah,
this
of course,
episode
of course.
way before anything.
oh, immediately it was like mother, and it was just like,
Sister's my new mother.
whoa, dude.
I love that. I didn't make that connection, but I did wrote down that like pretty much in every scene where he is with his mom, he says mother.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and that was so on purpose, and it works
fully.
really well.
You know what though? Ponytail did pervert job in this movie where it was like, whoa, dude, like, why would anybody end up with this person, let alone have a kid? He immediately seems like insane. Immediately.
Insane.
Like insane.
They lean so hard into him being a bad guy because he just fucking like shoots Danny like right away and then comes back to his mom like nothing happened. Like he's just like, hey mom, I got the information.
I know.
And she's like, you always fuck everything up. And he's like, no. This time I seriously got it. And then Schwartzy, wait.
Let me just say,
Okay.
he goes, let me handle this myself, mother. And it's like,
Sister's my new mother.
so creepy. But also, Schwartzy's a terrible cop in this.
Terrible guy.
I know. I was like, when I saw that scene, he's just like walking at the mall, actually, like blowing his gun in the air. Just like, who does that?
Who does this nonchalantly waving his gun around?
He's dressed like a fucking hobo. Like
And not just that, but he finds female Tweaker and then handcuffs her to the dead fucking body.
he handcuffs Cindy. She's doing her best Brittany Murphy impression this entire movie. Like,
I like her a lot.
Yeah, she was great.
she was
really
she
good.
did a really good job.
Great character.
But like her acting was so like School of Drew Barrymore, where it's like kind of overacting, but like you're like, this weirdly works. You like want it to work.
Well, it's like Crispin Glover too. Crispin Glover does outrageous acting.
Do you know what time it is?
Yeah, exactly.
I loved her like neurotic, like, who is this guy? I don't even know. Yeah, I loved it.
It seemed fairly like appropriate.
Yeah.
Where it was like, this person is terrified. She's just been handcuffed to a dead body from a dude she probably is sleeping with, but probably doesn't know too well.
Well, okay. So Danny, like, was he looking for them?
No.
Like,
Does it matter, dude? This movie's terrible.
No. Oh my god!
don't
Stop
agree.
saying that.
I disagree. I think this is a good movie. Okay.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Really
Sorry.
No, he saw them by accident. Like he was like fixing something, like driving somewhere, then changing a tire, and he saw.
That's
her.
what it was. Yeah, it was like a throwaway line.
I think
where
this
it was
movie's like bulletproof when it comes to like storytelling. Like,
is.
everything fits so well. There's
even
no holes anywhere. Like
even
it's
the
so
$3
good.
million is foreshadowing of like later on. It's so nice.
Yeah, everything comes back in the perfect way.
Totally.
It's just it's a really good like family movie.
I loved how Cullen Crisp talks in this movie. He talks like this.
Oh, yeah, such a pervert.
He's like, I'm just trying to get a manicure.
Yeah.
And Schwartzy's like, you're under arrest. And then the like mall cops come and they go, "What are you doing, Schwartzy?" And he's like, "I'm a cop, you idiot."
Yeah. Like so panicked.
Out of like, I love how from the beginning, like we can tell like what's a good man and what's a bad man. Like they're
Such
telling
good
it
guy,
in
bad guy.
such a good guy, bad guy.
Even though Schwartzy's not a good person in this movie at all.
And Lucille Bluth is like,
Yeah, she like she's getting her hair done and she's like, "I don't really like what you've done. I don't really like it. It feels terrible. It looks dreadful. I'm trying my..." And the guy's like, "I'm trying my best." And she's like, "Well, maybe your best isn't good enough." She fully is just Lucille Bluth.
I mean, yeah, but I love how they establish this like cold, like terrible mother. Like it's all about like he is the villain, but he's also a victim of like
totally
this evil woman, and it's all about like, you know, she loves her family, but she's like fully narcissistic, and it's just like yeah, it's just like never enough. Nothing you ever do will be enough. He doesn't have any kind of idea what's good or what's wrong, no moral compass or anything. It's just about pleasing the family. Keep it like I love how they established it. I thought they would go like, I'm surprised that they're not Russian. Like,
it wouldn't be now.
like
it would
like an evil Russian mother that's like really cold, emotionless, like controlling.
stereotypically, of course. Yeah.
I can totally see it.
Well, Serbs can say that about Russians in the pecking order.
Yeah.
So I just have to say that Schwartzy thinks he can get Cullen on murder one this time because he has a witness. Next scene, we're introduced to the amazing Pamela Reed,
So
who plays Phoebe O'Hara, Schwartzy's eventual partner, and she's interrogating Cindy for the murder of Danny, or for Cullen's murder of Danny, and she's trying to get info on Crisp's wife. And Cindy's like, she's really spooked and she doesn't want to. That was really, I hope that picked up on the mic. Alex just farted really loud.
Can I just interrupt you to ask you, did you like, were you like, when you heard her name, what was your association?
Whose name?
Phoebe O'Hara.
At least I am a showgirl, bitch. Go back to Party City where you belong.
Fifi O'Hara. Oh my god, from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Exactly, one of the most hated queens on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Whoa, and she was so, well, no, she, like, Phoebe is not like a hater.
No, Phoebe's amazing.
She's
but
an
I'm just
amazing
saying, like,
queen.
it was so funny. And I was
Wow,
like,
do you think it's based
Phoebe
on
O'Hara?
that?
I don't know.
We gotta
I don't
look
know,
that
but
up.
I liked it.
We gotta look
I
that
liked
up.
it. That's how I remember her name. I was like,
I'm so glad that you did. Are you using notes? Did you come prepared with notes?
I did. Who do you think
Amazing.
I am?
Also, it's like he's gonna be a 2-hour podcast.
Schwartzy's behind the two-way glass, and he can see into the interrogation room, but they can't see him. And he doesn't want Phoebe to let Cindy go away. And the chief, who's played by
Oh yeah,
Richard Portnow,
yeah.
Howard Stern's father, his most famous role.
Somebody said, yeah, I love it.
Man.
He was amazing. He was also amazing in the like 2 seconds that he was in the movie.
He's really good.
just
He's
such a
so
good
charming.
actor, yeah.
But he always seems like a used car salesman and not like a police chief. Do you know who we're talking about?
I do know.
This was a cool shot because you see through the two-way mirror from the perspective of in the two-way mirror.
Yes.
And Phoebe is telling Cindy to sit down at the same time that
Richard Portnow is telling Schwartzy to sit down.
That was so fun.
That was such a good scene.
Such an amazing scene.
Yeah.
This movie's directed by Ivan Reitman, and he's a pretty good director. Like he's done some
he directed Twins.
And I know another Schwartzy
Junior.
movie, yeah, and Junior.
Junior?
Lots of Schwartzy.
I'm just gonna say there are way more egregious things in this movie that happen.
We're gonna get to that. Of course.
For sure. But can't we just like why do you think it's a bad movie?
No, I don't think it's a bad movie.
We can't.
We'll get to
Can't
it.
get there.
We're getting
okay?
at the end. So she doesn't want to testify or anything. She's pissed and she wants to leave. Can we talk about when Cindy leaves and she flips Schwartzy the bird?
Yeah.
Huh?
Does she do it the American way or the European way? Okay, because the American way is without the balls,
Yes.
and the European way is with the balls. Although I've noticed that in America, they're now starting to add the balls. But in the 90s, it was all ballless flipping birds.
Yeah.
So did she
She flipped a bird without the ball.
Then why did you bring it up?
full
Well,
American.
I wanted
She
to
did the
talk
right thing.
I wanted to talk about bird flipping styles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I always do it with
you
balls.
always do it with the
Yeah,
balls.
I always do it with the
do the balls
balls.
too.
Mm.
And like, but it's a lost art. Nobody does it anymore.
Yeah, nobody does flipping the bird because it doesn't mean anything.
I mean, people still flip a bird.
I've
Why-
flipped a bird.
I flip a bird.
Why is this cop shop so like smoky and muggy? Like,
Well, here's also a weird question about like Phoebe interrogating her. Is like they didn't meet until Phoebe was interrogating Cindy.
Yeah,
and then it's
what?
like, here's your new partner, and it's like, whoa, what is happening? What is this terrible police force?
for sure.
Totally. And he also assumes, like, he arrests a guy assuming that he has a witness that he like attached to a dead body, hasn't even
Fully.
spoke to her.
Has handcuffed Cindy to a
Dead fucking body.
Which brings us to the many number of outrageous things Schwartzy does in this movie, like
I love it.
walking up to a bunch of hooligans hanging outside of.
Oh my god,
We'll get
so
to
many
that.
good one-liners in that scene.
So after the interrogation happens and Phoebe and Schwartzy meet
Yes.
to join forces.
Can I just say that introduction was amazing? She's like super nice to him and like puts her hand to shake hands, and he doesn't shake her hand.
She's holds her own in such a way that's like pretty amazing.
Can I just say the thesis that I have? This is one of the most feminist movies so far.
Can I just say that like the reason why when you initially asked me which movie I want to do, I said this one because I remember it.
Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Good one, Alex. The way I remember this movie from seeing it the first time, which was when I just remember seeing it as a teenager. So
Okay.
I probably didn't see it when it came out, yeah. But one of the reasons I liked it is because of her character. Like
Whose character? Phoebe?
Phoebe O'Hara.
She's amazing.
Like I've never seen like a female character being shown in that way. She's like really, really cool and badass from the start.
And also really funny. Like,
She's super funny. She's super cute. She's not sexualized, but she is a sexual person.
yeah, totally.
She is a comedic relief. She's funny, but she's not caricatured. Like
No.
she's like.
She's fully her own character.
Yeah, it never feels like the movie is making fun of her in any
No,
way.
and
It's
also
just
she's like a normal person. She eats, she shits, she like vomits,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember her being like, whoa, this is really interesting. Although she's not the main romantic interest in the movie, but still.
but seems so much more like compatible with Schwartzy somehow.
so much more compatible.
Yes!
They
And I
have-
don't know. I wrote this down. I was like, am I thinking about this because True Lies was the only real romantic relationship he's ever had, and she's sort of in the Venn diagram of Schwartzy female leads that are charming? Like it suits the same thing. I don't know.
I have to say, I was pretty disappointed to see that his romantic interest is like a meek, like a nice demure
non-character,
like a
blonde woman.
blonde woman who's like scared for her child.
I think-
in
In
a big-
in defense of Joyce, who you guys are talking about, we're getting way ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
But in defense of Joyce, I think she's actually has some compelling moments. Sketchy part of town. How do you know it's sketchy? There's always like a porno theater.
Yeah.
And hooligans are hanging outside of the fucking place. And a woman with a shaved side of the head who's a common like side background character that I've seen in 80s movies. You know what
Oh,
I'm talking
really?
Yeah.
You recognized her face?
Oh, I recognize her face.
I remember her. I was like, ooh, she looks great. Like
She's
it's an
such a
interesting
punker, yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting look. I love the depiction of like Bad City.
Yeah.
And you see some people, and then in the first 2 seconds, a guy just like punches a woman.
What the fuck?
Like, why
It was
would that happen?
It would never happen. And then Schwartzy comes up to him and he speaks to him in Spanish. He's like, "Donde estás?" And he just fucking punches him. And then turns around, cocks his gun and says, "I love my car very much."
Yeah, just like, but dude, like, just like waving guns around.
And then walks inside this like, I guess it's like in the 80s and 90s, they were always like these dens, these fucking crack dens
Yeah.
where like punkers and rockers would hang out just like drinking beers.
My idea, I saw that and I was like, whoa, this is cool. I would hang out here.
Adam wants to go to that party. I would totally go to that party as well. So he walks in and they just all start shooting. Like, you just like shooting each other.
Shooting.
And then he shoots out the music and all the heavy metal stops. And then a guy on the couch says, "Who the hell are you, man?" And he just shoots directly into the couch.
And he says, "I'm a potty pooper."
Yeah. And then he's like, "Party's over. Everyone go home." And it's like, dude, you were just shooting at everybody.
Also, another one-liner, he says, "Next time, my place."
Yeah. And the guy, a poor guy who was just trying to escape, he pushes him into the glass.
Yeah. And then he's like, "Hi, Cindy." Like, so gently. And he's like, "Do you mind if I sit?" And it's like, Cindy says something and he's like, "I don't like when you use foul language. Not a classy girl like you."
That was super gross and sexist.
I hated it so much.
A class. I don't like the foul mouth you use.
Yeah.
Not on a classy girl like you. I'm like,
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Don't you have somewhere else to be?" Not scared at all.
yeah,
from
she's
the
like,
shooting.
"Fucking leave me alone."
And it's like,
Cindy's the best.
he says, "I have nothing else to do. I have nowhere else to go. I'm just gonna hang out with you until the end of time." It's like abusive coercion. Like,
And
holy shit.
So Cindy's coerced into doing the lineup because literally the next scene is, "Give me the keys,
Yeah, totally.
you fucking cocksucker."
Hand me the keys, you fucking cocksucker.
Yeah, she totally fucking Kaiser Soze's ponytail's ass out of that line. And like, I think to confuse her, he let down the ponytail. Did you notice?
Yeah, he did let down the ponytail. He looked like even more of a scumbag.
Yeah, he does such good faces. Like,
He was so good.
He was so good. Like, I was even thinking, like, were they giving him directions to do the juicy lips, or was that his idea? Like, how did that come up with?
It was so his choice to do the juicy lips.
He looks like if Michael Pitt gained a bunch of weight.
Oh, yes.
It's just like got like kind of beefier.
Guys, do you love how he always wore these colorful, silky chemises?
Totally.
And he's being so indignant.
But also,
she recognizes him right away.
They really try and make Schwartzy a good person in this movie, and he's really not a good person. All of the first like 15 minutes is like, you're a bad person, dude.
That's exactly. You have to have growth. Like
that's true.
He's coming from a certain place. He shows good qualities. Like.
Yeah.
He's upset when he sees a guy punching a woman. You know, like they're giving us little cues.
Yeah,
of
for
like
sure.
how he's
But he's so creepy to Cindy. Anyway, literally the next scene is Crisp getting sentenced to jail time, and he's rocking that kind of like post-sex ponytail where like some strands are dangling.
sexy.
And do you think it was his decision to have that outrageous ponytail? That was a thick ponytail. Like, it was like very thick.
It's still really thick, too.
Like that's fully his hair.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
fully his hair.
Yeah.
There's no wig that looks like that.
When he's getting taken away and the mom is like, "I'm gonna get you out," and he's
like, "No, mother."
Yeah, "No, mother."
Yeah.
And he's like,
Sister's my new mother, mother.
she says, "I'm your mother, aren't I?"
Of course I know what to do.
Yeah, it's like,
oh my
so,
god.
And she's rocking a lacy black veil with the like Hillary Clinton pantsuit.
and then Schwartzy abuses him too.
She's got like the most quintessentially evil face. Like, she looks like sour tetamila faced.
Yeah, but she's also like, I think it's a trope. Like it's like
woman.
it's also like the nurse from the
Nurse
One Flew Over
Ratchet from One Flew Over
Yeah,
the Cuckoo's
yeah.
Nest. Yeah,
Yes.
totally. She's fully that kind of person.
Oh, you mean Adami?
Yeah, it's like fully. I think it's there's this idea of like, oh, patriarchy is being like reinstated by women, by mothers, and this is like the mother that's like too into it. You know what I mean?
Overbearing.
Like she takes the role of like let me show you what a real man does.
Right.
Interesting. And she's so interested in the male heir, the son.
Absolutely.
She has a lot of because she's always like, let's get him back, because we find out stuff about her later that I'm really excited to talk about.
Also, to pivot off something Anna said, which is like showing growth. The interesting thing about Ivan Reitman as a director, because he directed Ghostbusters, right? And that all those characters are such pieces of shit in that movie, and then they grow into heroes, right?
He's really interested in that narrative, for sure.
And it's but like that's something that's sort of missing out of new movies, where it's like the ability to have a character to be like not a very good person becoming a better person.
Totally.
But I think it's more like it's such a perfect American movie where it's like, oh, the evils of the city. And
the suburbs are always the best place.
And then like a small town and family values.
Totally.
Schwartzy is totally not playing by the books here, because he intercepts Crisp getting taken to his prison cell, and he's like, I'm not going to talk with you without my lawyer. And Schwartzy tries to play some mental games with Crisp. He's like, what about your wife who stole $3 million of your hard-earned drug money? She'll make a better witness than Cindy. Because like they're both being like indignant to each other. And then Crisp jumps into some like major psychological shit, because basically he's like, Schwartzy, without me, you don't even exist. At least my wife left me for my money. Yours left because she couldn't stand the sight of you.
Yeah. That's another thing. That's another example of who's a good man, who's a bad man. Yeah, the narrative of like, she left because of money, but yours, like, it's about.
Well, this movie's a lot about family, being a man, manning up, growing up. Schwartzy learning to like be a family man that he couldn't be to his regular family, we find out, because he has a 13-year-old son who he doesn't see because his wife left him and she remarried.
He's a failure as a man.
Yes.
And this movie is all about him becoming a man, like in a way that America loves and supports.
Yeah.
Totally.
The values.
Yeah, supporting the patriarchal status quo, the hegemony, the heteronormative.
Exactly.
Fucking
it tells us everything. It tells us who you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to be, what did you eat?
Guys, Schwartzy's visibly shaken by how much Crisp knows about him, because he like sees right through him. He's like, I'll be out of here in a week and you'll still be eating takeout food in that dump you live in. It was so like, he took such pleasure in like torture. It was so Schadenfreude.
Yeah. And then in the next scene, we get the like briefing of what Schwartzy's going to do with Pam.
You mean Phoebe?
Phoebe, yeah. Pam Reed. I'm just going to call her Pam.
Sure.
We're close.
Well, because we get some opening up in this scene.
Phoebe O'Hara is great because she asks him where he's from, and he says from Austria.
First time Schwartzy's from Austria.
Oh my God, I was so happy about that.
I was super happy about that. And then there's the weirdest line that's delivered by the chief, which is, Crisp is going to spend the rest of his life making license plates. And I immediately was like, you mean slavery? The thing that's like happening in America?
In prisons?
Prison industrial complex. Let's talk about America exploiting prisoners to do free labor.
Yeah, I was so weirded out by that.
Yeah, and they're totally down for it. But also I wanted to mention in the same scene, he says like, I am a police officer. My father was a police officer.
Totally.
My brother was a police officer. My mother was a wife of a police officer.
I laughed so I thought of you immediately.
I was like, that's like pretty obvious. And
yeah. I mean, you can contextualize that from what you just said.
Next scene, they're flying Alaskan Air, and they're doing some recon on the plane, because the plan is that she's going to be a kindergarten teacher, and he's just going to find the wife. That's the only reason he's going. I mean, slapped together.
No, but he was on the case for like 4 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So he's like aware of Crisp.
Exactly. He knows everything. He knows the details.
But how does he not know his wife if he knows everything?
Well, it's just 4 years, and she's been missing for 5.
Oh,
Right,
nice touch.
right.
They're on the plane, and they're setting everything so well.
Yeah,
And
there's a kid kicking Schwartzy's back of the seat, and he's really irritated and turns to the kid holding a pencil.
Oh my God, such a good scene.
It's such a good scene. And it's like, if you keep doing that, I'm going to do this. And he snaps the pencil in half. And the kid does such an amazing performance. And Schwartzy does such a good stressed out. Schwartzy's never played stressed out. He's so good stressed out.
He's
like,
very Euro stressed
he's
out.
so Euro. He's it's like nose breathing.
Male rage stressed out.
Tata stressed out.
So Tata stressed out.
My name is Vladan, and you are listening to Schwartzy the podcast.
Oh my God, yes. And like they just wanted to show us like how impatient and how he doesn't know how to deal with kids. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I totally. I was like, I feel you, Schwartzy. I would react the same way, probably.
Totally.
The kid's name is Cullen Jr., but
totally
Cullen Jr.
All about the dynasty, the heir.
Oh man,
sorry, go ahead.
Phoebe gets so sick.
She gets so sick, and the music in this scene doesn't fit at all with what was shown before. Like, the amount of violence up until now is like, this really isn't a kid's movie. And then this is such kids movie music, where there's just a montage of Phoebe having gotten sick because it's set up that she eats so much, which is amazing.
So amazing.
And she's like in the car being like, it couldn't have been the Korean we had, and it couldn't have been the plain food we had.
She's going through
She's
so much food.
I love it. It was a burrito, a donut, sushi. She said it must have been.
It must have been the sushi. But the funny part is that you get glimpses of now Schwartzy being a really super nice man, where she's just like throwing up, and he's like, "Do you need any help? Are you okay?" And then at one point it's raining, and he's holding an umbrella above her, and she's throwing up, and then he carries her with the umbrella, and it's really nice.
I have to say that was one of my like favorite scenes, because like she's so tiny and she's like really really sick, and she's been set up to be this like a badass, but then she's like, when people are sick, they're vulnerable, they're crappy,
They are crappy,
and that's when we see like, oh, he's a good guy, and he carries her, he takes care of people.
And then she goes into the car, and we're introduced to a ferret. Like, a ferret comes out of the fucking bag.
The ferret, like,
has nothing to do with the movie
at all. It's literally just a plot point for that like stupid climax.
Yeah, totally.
What do you mean? Ferret is set up perfectly.
Don't you guys mean this is a ferret?
This is a ferret. That's a ferret. Ferret. That's a ferret.
So Schwartzy is like, okay, there's no way, Phoebe, that you're going to be able to fucking deal with teaching this kindergarten class. So I'm going to shave and like get all nicely dressed and go to work.
Can I just say that he somehow looked like less attractive
when he shaved?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, totally. But also the most normcore outfits in this movie.
But he also didn't look skinny. I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know.
I think it's the 80s bulky, billowy.
The billowy shirts. I love how raspy voice Phoebe is.
Lower cover. Can't do it.
There's so many raspy voices in this movie. The kid has such a raspy voice.
Frank and my swimming teacher and Gus, my t-ball coach, are better than you too.
So Schwartzy's getting ready, and he's in like a nice leisurely suit, and she tells him to take off his gun. He says that he's worked undercover for so many years he can handle some 6-year-olds, and then she's like, on second thought, take your gun. And immediately I was like, wow, 2019 arming teachers, Republican talking points.
I think also we skipped a part that I think is really important for Phoebe O'Hara's character when she says that she was actually a teacher for a long time.
Yes.
But then she was like, oh, I got so sick of other people's children and I feared that I wouldn't want my own.
Yeah.
So I changed profession. And I thought that was so interesting.
What did you think it was interesting?
I don't know. I think I've never actually seen like in movies of that type, like women like a woman considering like whether she wants or doesn't want motherhood.
Yeah. It's also interesting because it's not a throwaway line. It's an essential line for her character that builds it, but is never harping on the fact that like she's a bad person for not wanting kids or she's a great person for wanting kids. It's just like, nope, that's my life. That's my character. And she plays it really well.
I love that.
Also contextually for the movie itself, it's like, oh, why would they pick this woman over this guy who's worked 6 years on the case? It's like, no, this person worked as a teacher. She can handle students or whatever, you know? It's like a good, like, logical point in the movie.
As I said, like, this movie is bulletproof.
Bulletproof, Anna.
So we open up on a little montage of Astoria, Oregon, which is like this like nice small little town. It's quaint. And Schwartzy's waiting to see the principal, and we get our first shot of our heroine, Joyce, Crisp's estranged wife. And she's
throwing eyes at Schwartzy.
Throwing so much.
Immediately.
She's so thirsty immediately. So thirsty.
Thirsty for more.
Everyone in this town is so thirsty for Schwartzy.
So many, all of them.
And she's telling little Billy that he shouldn't have punched Jetty, even though she poisoned his hamsters.
I love that because that's his first interaction with like kids in school, and he's like, oh my god, it's like so good.
Do you think that's why they did that?
Of course, because he's coming from a big town, like everyone's like killing everyone is so badass. He's like, oh, fucking 6-year-olds, I can take care of, I can handle this. And it's amazing. Like, she's really sorry for doing it.
Yeah, little did he know that Jetty's like a little showing signs of sociopathy.
Yeah.
And also, I just gotta say, all of the kids are amazing. All of them.
Like,
all of the kids are amazing.
All of the kids are amazing.
I love each and every one of them.
You know who else is amazing? Is fucking Mrs. Schlowski. Mrs. Schlowski. Oh my god, guys.
I thought the use of your police whistle was outrageous.
Yes.
Okay,
the basis for Edna Mode in the Incredibles movie.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh wow. She's such a good actress.
She's such a good actress.
Oh my god, with her slight lisp.
Yeah, totally. She's amazing. Not used nearly enough.
And you know what? I always thought she was like a strict, mean old lady. But like watching it this time, I was so on her side.
Totally.
She's another strong female character who has her own agency.
Absolutely.
And because in the next scene, she's like, Schwartzy, I don't like any of this. Who the fuck are you? Like, do you have any teaching experience? If you fuck this up, I'm going to tell the parents so much, and they'll pull their kids out of the school, and they should, because this is, I don't like that. I don't know anything about this. And he's like, well, I can't tell you.
He is fully lying. He's like, yeah, they wouldn't have sent me if I didn't have teaching experience. And she can like see through him like so hard. Really great character.
I loved her confidence. Yeah. And she just says her famous line, I'm watching you, and repeats it so many times. And then she takes him to meet the kids, and she does the classic teacher move, guys, the lights on and off.
Oh, I love it. I love that.
Was that a thing?
Great.
Oh, that was such a thing. That's such a thing for us here. Not in Serbia.
No.
Yeah, you guys don't have lights there, right?
No, we all sit around the fire.
Yeah. Guys, hitting rocks together for education.
I love so much the good morning, children. Good morning, Miss Schlowski.
And that's the first time when we see all the kids.
Yes.
That we are gonna we're gonna learn about all of them and their characters. Like there's like at least like 5, 6, or 7 kids that we like
that we get background stories on.
Yeah, that we fully like know like what they're about and who they are. And they're so
one of my favorite kids happens like right at the beginning where she's like explaining that Mrs. Hagley went on a trip, and she's like, one of them's like, where did she go? Did she die? And she's like, no, she went to go see someone. Did they die?
You mean morbid lol?
Lol.
Yeah, it's a boy. He's so cute.
He's so cute.
I love that.
Guys, can I please tell you a story from when I was a child?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just in line with the good morning, Miss Schlowski, I had a teacher who was our librarian in grade 6. Her name was Mrs. Cadenhead. And she would always say, good morning, children. And we would all go, good morning, Miss Cadenhead. in that sing-songy voice, and she hated that so much. So she told us to stop doing that, and I would continue doing it.
Oh no.
That's amazing.
Yeah, dude.
You were morbid lol.
Mr. Schlowski is amazing, and Morbid Lol is amazing, and asking if Miss Hagley died. Like, what the fuck?
No, but all the kids are they're not actually that morbid or weird. They're funny and they're real kids.
They're normal kids.
And it just seemed like they were just like tell me about yourself. Tell me about your mom and dad. They just seem to give real response.
Full characters, which is really weird. And they're such good actors. All of them. And the little girl who's like, I need help to get these off. It's Emma.
It's Emma. She was so nice. And it's like, no, you're so cute.
Emma is
a very important character in my Milenko's love story.
Yes.
Because she's the origin of our baby voice.
Yes, that's true.
All right.
Yeah.
That's true. And so, as a Thirsty for More segment, I mean, I hate hearing anyone else talk in their baby voice. And then I hate the thought of anyone hearing me talk in my baby voice. So it's only for the ears of Anna and Milenko.
Yeah.
Molenko.
Yeah, and it's fully Emma because she is one of the cutest kids I have ever seen on television, ever.
Yeah. How did you guess about Emma?
How did you guess?
Schwartzy loved Emma the most and said that like he'll do whatever she wants because she was so cute.
I know, and then there's a scene after when he's like telling them something or whatever, and Emma is just beside him dancing.
Yeah, so cute. So cute.
Oh my god.
And so we're introduced to all the kids, and immediately everything is a disaster. Like they all start not listening to him, destroying the painting on the chalkboard.
Yeah, he's trying to suss out also who Crisp's kid is, and like they don't cooperate at all. Like they just are
because they're children.
He asks if they were born in the state, and they all put their hands up, and then he asks who wasn't born in the state, and they all put their hands up.
There's that scene with the overalls with Emma.
Yeah, Emma in the overalls. She can't get her overalls off because she has to pee.
Oh my god!
And then
she's like, "It's really bad. I really need to pee, and I don't know how to do this." It's so cute.
It is really cute. And then he runs over to what's her name again?
Ponytail's ex-wife.
Joyce's
Ponytail's
wife. And knocks on the window and tries to get her to help her.
And she lets a student take the class over.
I mean, I really do not like her character.
I don't like her character either. I fully agree.
Like
Why?
she's just so I'm just so smitten by you. You're so like all from the beginning, and she's just like this like perfect like
she's
woman.
Boring.
She's just
fucking
there's
boring.
nothing there.
She's not
I mean,
a character.
Yeah.
I thought that some of the ways that in which she kind of takes ownership, the most compelling stuff for me about her is when Dominic is lost, because she plays the role of the like worried parent very well, I think. I don't know if that's also two-dimensional because it's just her fulfilling the mother role.
Exactly. It's just like she says at that point, "Oh, if I would lost Dominic, I would kill myself." Like pretty much.
Oh yeah. Ooh,
We're also introduced to Dominic at this point.
Yes,
because
Dominic is so cute and so well cast.
Very well cast. He does look like he has a punchable face like his dad.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. And Kid is a great actor.
Kid is
Like,
such a good actor.
Yeah.
He plays like coy but like and smart really well, but also still a kid.
Yeah. And they bond from the beginning. Like it's all again really well set up.
Can I also just point out about this movie that a lot of new modern movies have, none of the kids are like genius smart.
Yeah,
they're all just regular kids.
They're all just totally regular kids.
Yeah, just like can't control their body limb.
I mean,
movements.
that's the. I think that was the whole idea of the movie.
Definitely.
But like let's bring a bunch of kids and give them characters like a 6-year-old would have. Like they're just like
for sure.
so like they don't know shit shit.
Yeah, totally.
Because how did you guess?
How did you guess?
The kids who were cast from like Astoria, from that town.
Oh,
they cast real kids.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love that.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
We didn't talk about how Schwartzy calms the kids down.
Yes, that's a very important part. And there's also I think the funniest line in this movie happens at that time. So kids are freaking out. He doesn't know what to do. He's going crazy. He goes outside, screams, panics, doesn't know what to do. Goes to his car, get the ferret.
So brings the ferret in a closed car.
Poor ferret lives in a closed car. Animal cruelty. And he brings the ferret in the classroom, and there's just
what happened to your dog?
Oh, shut up! You ruined it.
sorry.
Like we don't even hear who says it. Like we don't see a face. We can just hear, "Hey man, what happened to your dog?"
It sounds like a high guy in the corner.
It sounds like a stone guy. Hey man, what happened to your dog?
This is not a dog. This is a ferret.
The kids are like, "What's a ferret?"
And dark existential lull says, if he bites you, you get rabies and then you die. And Schwartzy goes, it doesn't bite, it never bites.
Which repeats twice.
Yeah.
It's the second time that they're mentioning that the ferret never bites.
The next scene schools out and Schwartzy is like done.
Yeah.
He is done. He's like can't do it anymore. And Dominic has this like really sweet character moment where they build intimacy because he's like, you're a bad teacher. You're worse than all of my other teachers. And he's like, is there anybody that I'm not worse than? And he's like, I don't know that many people.
Yeah.
That was cute. Yeah.
Yeah. Really funny.
And he like then just passes the fuck out, and raspy voiced Phoebe is like, and they eat you alive, or what did she say?
That's a pretty good impression.
And he's like, they're horrible. And she's like, well, we can't blow our cover now. So cut to the morning and the children are arriving and the moms are gossiping about Schwartzy being gay.
So much gay panic.
Oh my God.
He's gay. He's obviously gay. And it's like why? Because he's a kindergarten teacher?
Dude, the line, what kind of a man is a kindergarten teacher?
Again, do I have to repeat myself? This movie's all about what
a real man
what it takes to be a good real man. Yeah. But I also think it was funny because they're like gossiping and they're one of the mom is single and they're like, oh, he can't see me without my makeup. And the other moms are like, oh, we don't have makeup either. Well, you're married.
You're allowed to look like slobs.
You're allowed to look like slobs. Yeah, I like that.
That was amazing because,
so much like heteronormativity in this movie.
It's all about,
too.
but no, it's 90s first. But it's all about the perfection of family, the perfection of being a man, the perfection of being a woman. Values.
This is loaded on so thick, so much in these next scenes because holy shit, Jillian, Sylvester's mom, is waiting in the classroom to speak to Mr. Kimball.
Oh, I love that.
She's kind of like femme fatale, and she wants to solve the case of like her missing husband's murder.
She's like the red herring.
Yeah, but she's actually the murderer. And then she's actually just concerned about Sylvester because Sylvester's strange behavior of playing with a doll.
Oh my God.
And then sorry, go ahead.
All of that was so amazing and super interesting to me. Like she shows up as you said, like femme fatale, but also like a mobster mom, like she looks like, yeah, she's the one, Yeah,
she's got a lot of money.
Yeah, she's like
well dressed.
Yeah, well dressed in this like shiny black trench coat. And then she's like so concerned, but also being like very like intimidating and aggressive.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, I'm so concerned he doesn't have a father. He plays with dolls. And then Schwartzy immediately, he's like, oh, I can help you with that. He like uses dolls to look under women's skirts.
And it's like...
And it's a relief.
It was so cringy.
I was like, whoa. Like, talk about fucking problematic. Like, it's okay. Your son's not gay. And that's bad. but he also does like treats women as objects and doesn't like have like any concern for their agency.
I love when things are like such a little thing, such a little scene, just such a little interaction tells you so much about what's right and what's wrong
in the culture
of that time, in that period. It's like, oh, first of all, we didn't say why she's super concerned. Is because her husband left her for another man.
Yeah.
Which is like for her the most shameful thing that can happen. And like it seems like everyone understands it. Like Schwartzy understands her shame. Like
he mentions it again later.
Exactly. There's like so much sympathy for her because what's that seems like the most terrifying, the most shameful thing that had happened to a woman, because it like diminishes her femininity or her
totally
womanness.
Yeah it defies the heteronormativity.
Exactly.
It defies the standard structure.
Exactly. And she as a mother is concerned for her son
because he's gonna become gay. Like the implication.
Exactly. He plays with dolls. It's like, if he have this obsession of playing with dolls. I'm like, he's a child.
Yeah.
What kid doesn't play with toys or dolls? Like, what's the fucking difference?
But also the idea, like, not to like denigrate the idea that like somebody could be hurt by somebody coming out in their family in that way.
Of
like,
course.
Absolutely.
But the idea that this person just is like, oh yeah, he flippantly just like went off with a man, and like that's the concern. You know what I mean? It's
and
like,
everyone is just like, oh yeah, he shouldn't see his son anymore. And she's like, he will never see his son because he left us. It's like,
whoa.
Yeah, he like lost the privilege of ever seeing his son. And also, but yeah, like looking under girls' skirt, like they're like,
not
good.
a good
Like,
thing to do, not a good thing to teach a young
relief.
kid.
So let me skip ahead a little bit here. Schwartzy wants to play a game. He says, "Who is my daddy and what does he do?" And instead of like realizing what he's asking, the children are immediately are like, "Is your daddy a fireman?"
Oh my god, that's so cute.
That was so funny.
That was such a funny misunderstanding done in such an authentic way. And Schwartzy gets a headache from like not being able to like find common ground with these children. And he goes, "Oh, I have a headache." And then Morbid Lowell goes, "Maybe it's a tumor." And he goes, It's not a tumor.
It's definitely not a tumor.
Yeah, it's not a tumor at all. I love that. And then some of the kids, we gotta mention some of these. My daddy doesn't do anything since the crash.
Oh no!
I have to say, all of the responses are so good and clever. Yes, exactly. Like I love it because it shows like, I think whoever wrote the script or whatever did such a good job of like how kids think.
Yeah,
totally.
Like the way
our dad
like,
is a sex. Our mom says our dad is a sex machine.
But my favorite one, for sure, was the psychologist. This is my father. He's a psychologist, and he helps people who have lost their feelings.
So cute.
No.
That's so great.
That's heartbreaking.
The other ones are great too. My dad watches TV all day long.
And okay, so can we talk about the problematic one with the little girl that says her dad repairs cars driven by women who are pinheads?
That's so good. She's the first one to say that, and there is like a 3 seconds there's like silence, like an uncomfortable pause after that. I don't think it's problematic because they left it for too long.
Yeah, I
for
agree.
it to become problematic.
I agree. My favorite is Emma's though, when she's like, "My dad works on computers," and then,
oh my god,
everything is so hard for her.
And he's the boss of the company.
He has bald and he has a mustache and a beard and he doesn't wear hats because he has too big a head. Like, it's just so ridiculous.
The kids are all amazing. And then the one kid is like, "My dad is divorced and my mom is divorced." Like, obviously.
Okay, how did you guess? Schwartzy said that the only way he'd be in the movie is if the movie depicted divorce and childhood fitness, like
totally.
different kinds
Holy
of
shit,
families.
really?
Yeah, isn't that cool?
I did not know that.
He wanted it to be educational.
And then everybody like turns fucking on Zach and is like, he's a poo-poo face.
Oh my god, I love the caca poo-poo.
Launching into fucking...
Because Zach, like, is, like, abused.
Yeah, dude. It was fucked.
That was so sad. That was so sad. I cried about the Zach stuff in this movie. Like, Zach is so tragic. And they give him... They kudos to Ivan Reitman for really being very generous with this character and really giving the audience a lot of time with this character to sit with the feelings of the like abuse that this child is suffering. I really think it respected that in the movie.
For
you know what I mean?
Even though Schwartzy concern trolls the mom and is like actually trying to find out like his case, but is fully
totally. He redeems himself though later by punching the dad.
Yeah, totally.
But Mrs. Slowski is very disappointed in the fire drill because when the fire alarm comes on, Schwartzy's just like, what's that?
Yeah, it's like, you're a cop, dude. Like, you're not that far from fucking firemen.
Like, Schwartzy just like panics and then like pulls all the children out of the like fucking... Mrs. Slowski says that the kindergarten class is just abysmal with their timing and that it's not good enough and they should be very disappointed. And Schwartzy's exhausted again. And then, but as he sees sad boy Zach, he chases after her mom, or after his mom, who runs away. And he wanted to talk to her about Zach, but also concern trolling. Like
concern trolling.
Next scene is Phoebe and Schwartzy on the town, and Phoebe has gone to the doctor and is feeling so much better. And she just had a stomach bug, and she can eat anything she wants to now. So she's in a rush to find some food. And Schwartzy wants to talk business because he seems to think that Zach is a dead ringer for Crisp.
Totally.
But he's narrowing it down to 3 possible boys in the class. And they enter a restaurant, and who happens to be there but Joyce, the teacher that Schwartzy's falling in love with, and Dominic, her son. And they're waiting to eat. And immediately Dominic loves Schwartzy because he's like, oh, Schwartzy. And he's like...
he is like, oh, Schwartzy.
Yeah, he was really excited. He was like, I love the way the kids in this movie say, Mr. Kimball, with such genuine excitement.
No, only kids can get that excited.
And Phoebe's terrible Austrian accent because she's pretending to be the sister.
And I love that her name's Ursula.
Ursula, and it doesn't sound like an Austrian accent at all.
Yeah. And Dominic says, I like how they talk.
Yeah.
In his raspy voice.
But it's also odd that it's like, oh, they're supposed to be a married couple, but like Phoebe wants to get fucking Schwartzy laid.
Yeah.
And it's such a top priority for her to get this guy laid.
Yeah.
And she doesn't even know who he is.
She's a love doctor. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
Oh yeah. I love that. She's like a real character. I love that. She's like, oh, I noticed those sparks there. You know? Let me help you.
And Schwartzy has this bonding moment with Joyce where...
No sexual chemistry between them.
No sexual chemistry
There's more sexual chemistry between Phoebe and him.
Yeah, that is true.
He says that he's only interested in Joyce for trying to get access to the other parents, which shows because they have no chemistry. But they're playing it as like he's falling in love. And for some reason, Phoebe can see this. And then... she's like, chill, dude. You'll be back to chasing murderers and junkies in no time. And it turns out he's really sad because he's being pushed around by these kids. And she tells him he can't have any fear. And he's got to do it like his police work. So the next scene, he says to the kids, we're going to play a game. Police school. And the kids are having none of it. But Schwartzy persists. He's like, no, come on. Stop whining. You kids are soft. You lack discipline. You're mine now. You belong to me.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, dude, you're so scary.
No, it's so good. My favorite part is when he says, no more bathroom breaks. There is no bathroom.
That was amazing.
That was so meta. I love that so much.
Yeah. No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimball have to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Abusive. Let me tell you a little thirsty for more.
Thirsty for more.
In grade 3, I had my own Mr. Kimball who wouldn't let me go to the bathroom. And let me tell you, I would fucking like pee in my pants. Like a little bit. I would like systematically pee.
What the fuck? How would you pee a little bit?
I would like control Mr. Brownlee. My grade 3 teacher did not let me go to the washroom at all. He would like.
Would you ask?
Yes. He like hurt Mark Sadeko by grabbing his arm and bruised it, and he got in trouble. Abusive teacher.
Can I just say another thirsty for more?
Thirsty for more.
He taught me how to read because I didn't know how to read, and he taught me with the original Willy Wonka, the Chocolate Factory, or Charlie the Chocolate Factory book, which still had the racism in it.
Oh my god, dude!
And it was like, and I still have the book. It's pretty fucking racist.
So,
still a good book though.
Yeah, I would systematically let pee out, and
first of all, I have to say that I'm impressed that you were as a child able to like pee a little bit, but not fully. You know what I mean?
I'm assuming you peed a little bit, let it dry, peed a little bit more.
That's exactly what I did.
That sucks.
But how would you let it dry? Like I don't. Yeah.
Guys, he tells the kids to follow his orders when he blows the whistle, to blow the whistle because he's going to get them to get a toy and take it back to the carpet. And so all the kids get a toy and bring it back to the carpet. And Emma doesn't want to do it because she's dancing in the corner by herself.
Yeah,
I love the free spirit Emma. He's destroying her spirit because she goes, I'm not a policeman, I'm a princess. And he goes, take a toy and bring it back to the carpet. Take it back. All right.
So sad.
But the funny thing is, she tries the third time. She's like, should I say something? All right. He fully crushes her spirit in that scene.
He totally crushes her spirit.
And then but he starts to win, and he's like, yes, it works. This is great.
Yeah, he's so happy about like destroying their childlike spirit.
But then there's the hilarious like PSA for like the importance of physical education. Yeah, because there's like a whole montage.
It's so long. The montage is so long, but it establishes so much respect between the kids and Schwartzy, who apparently in a How Did You Guess were like climbing all over him the entire time, apparently.
How did you guess?
Like they loved him.
Of course they did.
And Schwartzy's gloating that he's the best teacher. He's so happy.
Yeah, that this is the moment when we see his growth. He's figuring out that it's like he's happy, he's achieving things, he like, you know, he can be more than he was, and he takes pride in it.
Because at the end of the montage, he has this vulnerable moment where he's reading the story that he used to read to his son. Who's never named, by the way.
Alex.
Oh, is it? Alex! Oh my god.
Jesus. His name is Alex.
His name is Alex. It was so awesome hearing my name out of his mouth.
Yes.
And
imagine being Schwartzy's son.
I mean,
the illegitimate son?
That was a pretty good Tata for that. I'm okay with my
We
Tata.
have a Schwartzy dad. We do have a Schwartzy dad.
This part of this movie actually also reminded me of Billy Madison.
Oh, Dominic says such a sad line because they talk about divorce, and he says, it's where your daddy doesn't love you anymore and doesn't come see you.
Yeah, doesn't want to see you.
And one of the kids goes, what's a divorce? And one of the kids goes, it's when your daddy comes to take you places and your mommy says he's a deadbeat.
I love that line. It's so good.
Yeah.
He starts reading to them and they go to sleep, and the ferret's just like milling around beside him, which is so
I
random.
have to say that ferret was fully like restricted. Like one of his paws were like fully
Was
like
tied to something?
to
Yeah.
something.
He was trying to get away?
Because I could see him trying to like.
He was trying to get away so much in this movie.
Oh, this poor baby. I wonder if it was just one ferret or it was like 5.
No, it was like they totally like it was such bad abuse to animals in that movie. It was nice hearing a poem in Schwartzy's voice.
I know.
Just the like rhythm and the cadence. I loved it so much.
And I also have to say that this was a moment where I was like, whoa, Schwartzy's a really good actor.
Yes.
Such a good actor. Such a good
Such a good actor.
I'm so glad you noticed that. I'm so glad.
There's depth. Like, he's good. Like seeing him read this story, he was like, oh my God. I was whoa.
He was acting the shit out of that part. Yeah. And then we get a shot of Ponytail sliding into frame.
In a dream sequence, Ponytail slides. He's on dolly tracks all the time.
Oh my god, I love that.
And then he pulls a gun out and shoots at Schwartzy.
And then Schwartzy goes, bah! Wakes up, and Joyce is in the room.
There is Joyce inviting him to dinner.
She just like at this moment, I was just like, wow, this person just doesn't have character at all. He's just like the most shallow character, purely there to like be like, hey, you're awesome. I want to have sex with you and give you food.
Like all the females in this town, I also want to bone you.
Yeah.
Come to my house.
It's just such a nothing role.
Yeah. But can we talk about the amazing next scene? Yes. Schwartzy's alarmed to find a car at like their motel.
Oh my god!
Bursts in to the room where Henry Shoup, Phoebe's lovable fiance, is like going to town on her. And then I think at this point the audience really like expects us to mention this dude's fucking balding, dude.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like,
this dude's balding is amazing.
It's like
wispy hair,
just so wispy,
so
like
wispy.
The thinnest wisps on top.
It's amazing.
I loved it so much.
Their relationship is amazing.
Yes.
It's incredibly supportive and just seems like fun.
I just wanted to say I do like their relationship, but I think they did this thing where she's like because she's like quirky and like kind of butch, like she's like badass. They feminized her man.
Oh,
they did. They make like in the first scene that we see him, he wears her robe,
the bathrobe,
like a pink.
Very true.
Very feminine bathrobe.
That's a great observation. I thought you were going the ugly direction.
No.
He's not ugly though. I guess
he's
he's
not
like,
ugly. No,
but
not at all.
He also they also imply, even though like
they shame the feminization.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, and this is the reality of this is a little weird because most like chefs are men, but like they also imply because he's a cook and cooks for her that's like a feminized role.
That's true.
And she is butch because I mentioned earlier the guns and ammo magazine. Yeah, which I thought was such a good touch.
Yeah, and I have to say, even though the relationship is lovely, all that, I was kind of disappointed that they went that way, because like, oh, she's like, you know, she's portrayed as a different woman.
Yeah.
And then her guy had to be opposite because you still have to have this balance of femininity and masculinity. And it's obvious that she's like, where's the pants in this family?
You know what though? Like I will say that in the scene, it doesn't seem like Schwartzy himself is like, oh, who's this guy? It seems like he's pretty cool with him too.
Oh,
like
absolutely.
He
doesn't shame him.
He shakes hands with a naked man, which is like awkward and weird, but it's still like cute and funny.
I loved it.
You know?
I loved it, and I also loved how they edited the mirror. Like, there's a mirror in the back.
Yeah.
And they put like papers or something, like newspaper cutouts or something, just to cover his asshole, because you can fully like there it is, his asshole in the mirror, but it's just covered with like I don't know, like a cutout of paper or whatever. Also, another thing I wanted to mention in that scene, because it's a pretty fun scene, is that she says that, oh, he came and made her favorite food, and it's pasta al olio, which like fully just means like pasta with olive oil. Like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah,
outrageous.
And it fully looks like there's nothing there. It's just like greasy pasta.
That's hilarious. Cut to the kids going home, and Schwartzy runs over to talk to Zach's mom, and Zach kind of apologetically says, "Oh, he was following me," because he's like conditioned to like protect his abusive parents. It's so fucked up. And then he's afraid of getting in trouble, and Zach's mom says, "Go away for a minute," and without prompting, Schwartzy says, she says, like, "I know what this is about." She volunteers the information and says that Zach has bruises on him because like his dad's, he started counseling for this. She never says it, but like she just says that he started counseling for this. And then Schwartzy finds out he hits her too.
Yeah, and he goes, "He's beating you too." And it's like, oh my God, this is so like desperate, depressing, and terrified. Like,
yeah, but super real.
Super real.
She has the classic syndrome of like, you know, like protecting
the abuser.
And you know what? It's a survival thing too, because like maybe she can't survive on her own. She's a kid.
Absolutely. I actually really love that kind of like B plot, or you know, if it's a B plot. I don't know.
Speaking of B plot, we get Cindy in the next scene who's at a flea market and buys some drugs off a like random Chinese vendor.
What is she buying?
Yeah.
Is that cocaine?
Is that cocaine? How does she afford cocaine?
Like, I don't understand. Is she established as a heavy drug user? Is she a heroin user? Like,
it seems like both of them were pretty tweaky. Like,
well, we find out that mother has laced
Sister's my new mother.
this cocaine with fentanyl. And,
why are we laughing at fentanyl? Fucking Adam would be so disappointed.
We're not laughing at that. We're just
it's funny because it's true.
Yeah. Well, we're just laughing at
I know,
the intention of course.
Anyway, you don't have to justify it. I'm just making a joke.
Cindy dies. And we get a mini scene where Phoebe tells Schwartzy that she knows that Zach isn't their kid.
Yeah, Zach's not the one.
Yeah. And Schwartzy says he knows because he's, noticed this whole dad plot. And then she sets him up for Schwartzy's date and he buys some wine and flowers to bring to Joyce. And we go to Joyce's place, which is fucking massive.
Yeah, giant.
And he's like, how does she afford this on a teacher's salary? So he starts, his red flags start going off.
Totally. This is also a really weird, interesting thing that actually somewhat contradicts our current running theory of men being men, because it's a nuanced view of Schwartzy offers up the information that his ex married a very nice man and they take care of her son.
No, but he's lying. In that moment, he's lying. He says, "Oh, I see my son all the time. This is this lovely man."
I guess so. Yeah,
he's lying.
Yeah.
He's playing a role.
I don't remember him saying.
Yeah, I don't remember him saying that either.
Yeah, he says, "I see my son all the time."
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he's lying.
Interesting.
But there's one amazing patriarchy reestablishing moment when she says, "Oh, dinner won't be ready in a couple of minutes. Can you start a fire?"
Oh, yeah. Such an outrageous line.
Start a fire in the middle of summer?
Yeah, outrageous.
In that massive house?
Guys, Dominic and Schwartzy head over to Dominic's secret hiding spot and they're getting firewood. And we get a reveal from Dominic. He tells Schwartzy that he's got lasers set up to protect him and his mom from the bad people. And he shows Schwartzy this big antenna that he wants to climb to put a laser on to stop the bad people from coming. And the look on Schwartzy's face says, lasers? But yeah, this is another reason for Schwartzy to think that this could be Crisp's family. And he starts rifling through their stuff, including a scene where he picks up a pair of underwear, which was kind of weird.
Yeah, they focus a little too hard on that underwear.
And then sometimes you think Ivan Reitman, are you
kind of a pervert?
Yeah, but also don't you think that this kid was pretty a clever kid, a smart kid,
yeah,
definitely.
Kid.
He's savvy.
I know, but then lasers, it's just aluminum foil wrapped up.
But he's a kid.
I know, but
how old are they? They're in kindergarten.
They're
6
years old.
They're 6. But for someone who's very aware of nuanced emotional relationship between adults, to be I'll protect my mother with aluminum foil.
He's still a kid, though. I don't know. I thought that was kind of realistic. I don't know. Because I remember also, being perceptive as a kid, but also being really dumb.
Yeah.
I remember with both those things.
Totally.
So a visibly shaken Joyce confides in Schwartzy that her ex is a bad man, and she escaped him because he tried to kidnap Dominic. And that's what Dominic means when he says bad people. And she was hoping that Dominic had forgotten about that. And Schwartzy realizes that this is the family.
Huh? This is this. What the hell is that supposed to mean? This is this.
I mean, just reveals everything to this fucking random stranger.
I thought that too. That was
so outrageous. You've known this person 3 days.
I know, but he's a real man. He's so trustworthy. He's so warm.
And he's not some doughy ponytail guy. He's fucking ripped.
And obviously, this woman does not have a good sense of
No, totally. She clearly has terrible instincts about this.
Yes, exactly.
Just whoa, dude. like you had
really, really bad boundaries. Like immediately, just like is like I can trust this guy.
Yeah,
Like
you have terrible judgment. In fact, Schwartzy has terrible judgment too, because he's like also like falling in love with this fucking outrageous person who's put a child in danger.
I know, but it's more than that. He's falling in love with this tiny city and this kids and this all.
Just him laughing is amazing.
oh my god, what were you gonna say, Anna?
I don't know.
Just like Anna doing a dissertation on this movie and being like doughy ponytail guy trying to get me like gonna laugh.
I know. I'm totally trying to be like to say what I'm to say, but at the same time keep it light and funny.
Hold on. Okay, there's a cute scene here where the kids mistake the word forefathers for actually having four fathers. Because
I also need to be okay. First, say it.
They're doing the Gettysburg Address, and Schwartzy's like coaching them through this Gettysburg Address thing. This movie's so patriotic and so American. Let's talk about that.
I just wanted to say that I think this is like the peak of like what this movie is trying to tell us or sell us, is this idea of like a patriot, like a good man, like being like, I suffered, but I've seen the true values, and it's because America and because freedom.
Because America and because freedom.
And then you have these kids saying this like, you know, what is it? It's like a speech.
Yeah, the Gettysburg Address. Yeah.
And they're like, because this land was established that all men are created equal.
Except for women and black people.
Except for women and the slaves that we brought here. Yeah. And all of it is just, I remember like seeing this movie and thinking, wow, like how delusional. Like but all of it is so fucking delusional.
But it's real. That's real.
I know, and these children have no idea. They're like, does he have four fathers?
Yeah. I know.
I think in a way it was like so telling of the illusion that they're trying to sell.
I agree completely.
I loved it.
Schwartzy is totally convinced that Joyce and Dominic are the people he's looking for, but Phoebe says that she's done a background check and the house story checks out because it's supposed to be a friend's house. It checks out that she only has $1,000 in her bank account, no unusual expenditures, nothing. The $3 million stolen theory is out the window at this point. And Schwartzy says, keep digging. She just doesn't seem the type. And he goes, it's got to be her. And Phoebe is like, you want it to be her because you like her and it scares you to death. And I'm like, why are they doing this? Like, they didn't need to do the love subplot. They really didn't need to. I know that they do need to because it's a movie.
They do need to. Of course they do. But also, I thought it was really strange that police insisted on $3 million. Like, it's not like, why does police care about those $3 million?
Because they stole government money. Like,
it's not a government money. No, it's not
taxed income.
It's like, imagine, like it's like imaginary drug money. Like, are they want to like what, use it for the budget, like for expenses, like
to fix the deficit?
Yeah, and they're like, we're not going to arrest you. Like, why would they arrest her?
Yeah, that's such a weird, bizarre subplot that made no sense. Where it was like, oh, we're arresting this person for what?
For running away from her husband, like. She did. If she stole money from him that the government doesn't know about or the police doesn't know about, it's not a crime.
Well, it's. I think
what kind of a crime is that?
What it would be is like they'd be like, we're offering you immunity so you testify against your husband. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no, I know that's what they want. Yeah. But like, I don't see what money has to do with it.
I guess so. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he gets back to class, and on his way back to class, he's showing off to Joyce how well behaved his children are. And then they have this like kind of moment where she's getting closer to him and the kids laugh at this like perceived kind of adult moment. And he's like, I was just talking to the teacher. Don't laugh. And then the kids enter the class and Zach and his mom arrive late and Zach is being let in like by the shoulder by Schwartzy and he winces because he has a huge bruise on his neck. And he says, oh, in the most heartbreaking line, looking down at the ground, I fell down some stairs.
Oh, no.
And Schwartzy runs out to confront Zach's mom, who gives him the same story, but Schwartzy calls bullshit this time. And beyond the mom, Schwartzy sees the dad, who like starts walking towards Schwartzy in a cool guy way. And he's like, "You're the Mr. Kimball we heard so much about."
No.
And then Schwartzy goes, "You hit him, I hit you." And pushes him into the car, and he's about to punch him, and these kids walk out, and he like feels bad that the kids are gonna see him.
Yeah, also important growth moment for him. He's not like this animal that like shoots at everything that he sees.
Yeah.
There's consequences, you know, you're not worth it. That's what he says to him.
Yeah, that's a good message though, that like violence doesn't solve every problem. You don't have to hit problems away. You can
Exactly, and being exposed to violence is not a good thing.
It's not a good thing.
Yeah,
exactly.
you're doing
Especially
the same thing
children.
that this kid is going through.
Principal Schlowski sees all of this unfold, and then in the next scene, Schwartzy's justifying his actions to her, and he says that he shouldn't have hit the man in front of the children, and it was a mistake. And she gives him the old, "I checked you out. There's no record of you ever having taught a class in your life." And he's like, "Oh," and he's like, "I thought the ferret was stupid, but the kids liked it. I thought the police whistle was outrageous, but it worked. I don't know what kind of police officer you are, but you're a very good teacher."
And it's like outrageous because like kids have pets all the time in classrooms and whistles. Like, what do you mean? It's like
every coach ever.
Things working? What do you mean? Those things are like.
And then she says,
"What did it feel like to hit that son of a bitch?"
And Schwartzy gives her the most genuine, "It felt great."
So cute. And then he leaves, and she is like punching the air. She's like,
yeah,
so like,
she's amazing,
so cute.
And then there's a reveal that Cindy died.
Yes,
and like
their main witness. And Richard Portnow is like, "Well, you better tell them to come back."
I mean, yeah, because the ponytail guy is out.
Yeah, he's out of prison. Like, they just let him walk.
And this was my favorite because he goes, "I love you, mother."
Sister's my new mother.
And this is what I was like, "Sister is my new mother.
Oh my God. Immediately I was like, "Sister's my new mother."
Totally.
Oh, so we cut to like the spring elementary school fair, and complete with like sad clowns and petting zoos and those races where you tie your feet together. Joyce and Schwartzy are getting cozy and tying their feet together. And the kids do a Gettysburg Address, so brainwashy. And the kids, like, they want to go off to the army and fight the imperialist American wars for oil in the Middle East. And the smallest, like, bowl cut kid who says the penis and vagina lines.
Penis vagina lines.
He says, "Thank you very much." So cute. So
God.
cute. Yeah. Principal Schlowski does the most irresponsible thing here ever. And she goes, "I'm willing to offer John Kimball a full-time job."
Like, it's outrageous.
Like, announces it at the fair.
You're proven to be a wonderful asset, and it's like, and will consider staying with us.
I mean, she also fully knows that he's a cop.
Yeah, like,
undercover, working on a case.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We all want Schwartzy to be our teacher, but
we all want Schwartzy to be our.
He's just so good.
Crisp arrives in Astoria with his mom and his fucking billowy pants and ponytail. And he's being so outrageous. He gets out of the car and goes, "Nice little town," in like a really aggressive, cool guy way, who thinks he's being a cool guy. And he's like, "I want to buy some property here. The kids are going to love it." And the mother goes off to the pharmacy. Munchausen by proxy, dude.
Fully
I
Munchausen by
love
proxy.
that. I love that. They didn't like it. Feel like they didn't need to add that additional like trauma, like this like really violent woman like doing harm to her child. Like it wasn't like necessary for the story, but I like that they went there.
Totally.
Well, because it gives again, in line with what you said about her kind of enforcing patriarchy, I feel like that kind of Munchausen syndrome. I mean,
It's also, I think it's fully like narcissistic syndrome.
Yes, narcissistic personality.
Yeah, where your child is just another part of you.
An extension of you,
Extension of you that needs to fulfill whatever you need it to fulfill. So it's just like, yeah, you need to be healthy, so we'll like pump you with like whatever, you know what I mean? Like there's no,
and they like put a specific focus on the rectal thermometer. Like so weird. That's also in line with the like weird her substituting patriarchy by like putting like a phallic thing in his butt.
But it's also they're doing it for comedy. They're like, you shouldn't be a mama's boy. Real men are not mama's boys.
Totally. That's why he's kind of like the trope of the feminized evil character because he's also got a ponytail and he's a little bit juicy lipped.
He doesn't act feminine, but in a way he's like a child. Like he doesn't have
like that exuberance of
strength,
but also so evil.
But like they contrast them in a really nice way because Schwartzy is like got like darker clothing. He's a badass. He's wearing white in the movie. He's like effeminate in a like repressed kind of way.
Well, like wearing all of those like kind of Hawaiian shirts, but butching it up with the suits.
Totally. But like also he says the line, "You stuffed this down my throat and there's nothing wrong with me." And it's like, dude, you're a murderer. Like, what do you mean? Like we've seen you murder people.
If you didn't think that Crisp was a bad guy before, he goes in to buy a train set in this toy store, and to the nicest old man in the world is like, "Hey, I'll pay double, quadruple what it's worth." And the guy's like, "No, mister, I want to buy this." He was being so genuine. And like, he's like, "Well, I guess you win some and you lose some." And he leaves. And then like they call him a tourist and laugh about it. And then he fucking like beats the shit out of this dude and steals the toy from him to meet his mother again.
Sister's my new mother.
Yeah,
Mother.
also proving to us that he has no moral, like, sense of good or right, or he doesn't care about other people and their feelings because it's all about pleasing the mother.
At this point, Schwartzy and Phoebe can't wait anymore, and they have to tell Joyce at the fair that what's really going on. And like, this would be a huge shock, and I think she acted this really well. Like, this is why I want to give Joyce a little bit more credit, because there are key scenes where I think she does a really good job at reacting to certain things believably. Like, I don't think she's the most interesting character, but she could just not be the most interesting person. I mean, you know, like, you know, she
could have just played it as not interesting.
Well, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, sure. Yeah.
Women have a right to be uninteresting in movies. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know. Like, if you like, you know, you like put this much energy to create these other characters that have character, why this like female like leading interest would not have it?
And she's the only one that he's interested in romantically.
Exactly, romantically, and he is the man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
But the other thing, it was like, them as cops did not handle this well.
Oh my god!
Like, to say this like that to a woman at a fair without any kind of like context, any kind of like, hey, like nothing, just fully like, yep, we're cops. You're fucked. He's on the way. He's gonna kill you. Bye.
And especially
tell us about the money.
Especially Phoebe's kind of like, come on, you know, this is like, and it's like what the fuck?
She
like,
totally does. And the fact that he wishes he was a kindergarten cop.
He so wishes he was the kindergarten cop.
Oh my god. Yep. So she runs away, and I guess he follows her.
Yeah, and he arrives at her place, and her house is open, and it's been torn apart. And he's looking for them, and she runs into him in a panic, and she says, You led Crisp to Dominic, you fucking bastard. And he's like, stop it, we'll find it. Like, this was the like very much the trope of like calming the hysterical woman.
Mm-hmm.
Also, but he says, like, he reveals shit about himself where it's like, I haven't seen my son in 7 years. It's like, dude, that's just like a full red flag right there. Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's why I said that he was lying, and he reveals it at this very weird moment.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do about him. makes it about him and his growth.
It's fucked.
I don't want to lose you. I don't want to lose Dominic. It's like, what, dude? You don't know these people, and you've been lying to them the whole time.
I know. And then he's like, he's the savior. He's like, let me protect you forever.
Yeah, totally.
Dominic is climbing that fucking tower to put lasers up, and he falls, and his backpack gets caught on the ladder, and he does the cutest help.
Yeah, he plays that so well.
Little barky help, and Schwartzy helps Dominic down, and in the next scene she's packing her shit for them to leave because she can't trust anyone.
But don't they kiss at that point?
Yeah, they do kiss. They have the most fucking
Schwartzy kiss.
Chemistry Schwartzy kiss ever.
I know. And she's like, "Oh, I will be here to protect you. Trust me."
And
she's like, "You said that before." No, it's real love this time.
You guys just met, and he's literally a sociopath.
Yeah. So I think the next day, Phoebe O'Hara comes to school.
They say, Good morning, Phoebe.
I know, and the little kid again says boys have penises, girls have vaginas.
Can I just say, can we acknowledge the all gender spectrum here, please? Because, fuck that bullshit. I just have to. I would be remiss not to say it.
Okay.
You get just I mean, I guess at the time, whatever, they're on the current Ontario sex ed curriculum, the Doug Ford sex ed curriculum.
I mean, they're not even there. This is a kid whose dad is a gynecologist, and he looks at vaginas all day.
Yeah. So they're not getting a good gender education.
But you know what?
At
that point in the curriculum, you get taught boys, you get taught the actual words, right? That's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Guys, Crisp is in the principal's office in the meantime, pretending to be a parent named Mr. Green who wants to put his kid in the school. And the principal takes him on a tour of the school in an outrageous move. She takes him to the kindergarten class to show him. And they walk beside the class and look inside. And he sees Dominic, but then he sees Schwartzy come out. Ah!
Yeah, the kids are all piled onto him, and he bursts out from them, and he sees them, and he spins around. Man, this dude played such a good fucking creep.
He played such a good creep. He's such a sketch bag. And then he comes back to see his mother in the car, and she asks if he's seen the boy, Cullen Jr.
And she tells him to put the cigarette out that he's smoking. Yeah. It's unhealthy for the kid. Such a good line.
Such Munchausen by proxy.
Munchausen by proxy so much.
But that's the line of the cigarette being bad for his health is coupled with her handing him a huge fucking Magnum.
Amazing.
And he kisses her, which is so off-putting in this scene.
It's so Oedipal too, the way that she's weirdly controlling of him, and he's almost in love with her. She's more of his partner in this than we ever see of them,
Absolutely.
He sneaks back into the school and he sets the library on fire. Real fucking classy move, dude. He just fucking takes all this lighter fluid and just starts a fire in the library. And Kimball and Phoebe are on high alert when the alarm goes off. So she goes to scope out the situation and sees all this smoke, and it turns out it's a real fire. And because they've had literally 7 fire drills at this school, why did they have a fire drill every fucking 2 seconds?
I don't know.
Yeah, but because it was just set up for this scene.
Yeah, it was a good setup. But also what was the plan? What? That's how manic this dude is.
That's so true. And it's just what did you think you were going to do when you got the kid?
Well, I think the idea is that he is not a good planner or good at anything. He's just trying to please his mother. And as he said to her in the beginning, he's don't think about it, I'll take care of it. That's what he's trying to do.
Oh my God, you're so right.
She is the problem solver in the family.
And he's pathetic and trying to prove himself.
A fucking loser.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad we found a drop for that.
Your old man, a fucking loser.
Your old man, Mr. Loser.
Mr. Loser. Anyway.
Yeah. So there's all this chaos happening all around.
Fire trucks are arriving. So do the police.
And there's a kid that falls, and Schwartzy gets the kid, loses the Dominic.
And then Dominic gets picked up by Cullen.
I know, and there's this ginger kid. Oh my god, I love that little kid.
Who says, stranger!
Stranger!
And the kid, Cullen, the look on his face looks like he wants to kill that kid.
Totally. Did we mention that, what's her name?
Phoebe told them
about stranger danger in the scene.
Yeah, never talk to strangers. We never talk to strangers. And then the kids repeat it in that mindless voice.
Can we talk to other children?
Yes, you can talk to children.
Can we talk to animals?
You can talk to animals. It was so good. Oh, okay. And then
she also does look fully like a kindergarten teacher.
She so looks like a kindergarten.
If ever I saw Miss Herbert. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. Crisp takes Dominic into a side room and keeps his hand over his mouth in such a scary way. And can I tell you guys like a thirsty for more from our own childhood?
Thirsty for more.
Our mom would let me get lost or like be alone somewhere in a shopping mall, and to show me the importance of like staying with her and not getting lost, she would come up behind me and put her hand over my mouth like that.
That's why you always leave a note.
Yeah, that's scary. Yeah,
So
she also used to pretend she was dead to see what you would do.
So abusive.
So mentally abusive.
So fucking abusive. Like, I'm sorry, but like, yeah. So I related to the terror in this kid's eyes because he says to Dominic, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm a fireman. I'm here to help people. And Dominic says, where's your hat? And Crisp loves this because he's like, I can't fool my own boy. Too smart for his degenerate father.
Oh, man.
I know, and he also says like, hey, Dominic, I'm your father. You will have to learn to trust me and do what I say.
Oh, no.
He has a Luke, I am your father moment. He wants to be to Dominic what his mom has been to him.
Exactly, totally. Joe. It just shows how the abuse keeps on happening.
Yeah, the cycle of narcissism. Yeah,
exactly. And it shows how, like, that's why I think it's a good movie, because it shows how much these people are incapable of connecting and communicating with children.
So true. So true.
Like the mother is incapable of emotionally connecting to the child, so she abuses and controls him, and that's the same thing that he's trying to do with Dominic. And like he really wants it, but he's like literally not capable of like being a person to this kid.
Yeah, totally, absolutely.
Totally. He also says, you're right. I'm not some jerk firefighter, which was such an outrageous line.
and
to say to a kid.
Dominic says,
kids love firefighters.
Yeah.
Dominic says, my father's in France. Your mother told you that. So outrageous. And then he tries to escape and Crisp grabs him and he says, yeah, you guys, he says the trust me line. And then after barging in on like a couple of horny tweens who, how did you guess?
How did you guess?
It's the son of Ivan Reitman.
Oh, Jason Reitman? That's cute. That's cute.
So cool.
That's really awesome. And then all of a sudden, the mom of Ponytail drives the car into Phoebe.
No, before that, another important thing happens.
Such an important thing.
I wanted to mention
what happened.
Phoebe tries to get inside, and the firefighter, like, it's unbelievable how patronizing he is to her. He calls her a sweetheart. And she's like, no, but like, you can't go in, sweetheart. And she's like, no, I'm a police officer. I have to get in. And he says, well, if I need a ticket fixed, I'll call you. Honey.
Yeah.
Like, I love that they show that.
Yeah.
And she's like so frustrated.
She's frustrated in a very realistic way in this scene. And like, he's so patronizing and like,
I mean, he's calling her
diminutive.
honey and sweetheart and like, I have a job to do. Like, it was such a real moment that women deal with in real life. And it was in this movie. Like, so like, you know, I don't know if anyone noticed it, but it was so good.
It was such I definitely wrote that down. And then Mother
Sister's my new mother.
spots her and like hits her with the car. And kudos to this stunt actress. Says, holy shit, that looked insane. Like I was like, whoa, did that really happen like that?
She fully was like hit by that car.
And Phoebe's out and the mother grabs the gun.
Mother.
And meanwhile, in the burning building, Crisp tells Dominic to be quiet. And Joyce just happens upon them. And he goes, just what I need, because now he has another hostage. And they go into this locker room with showers. And she says, you're scaring him. And he looks at her and he's like, of course he's scared. You told him all these lies about me.
That's an amazing impression, dude. That is an amazing impression.
I couldn't wait you told him all these lies about me.
Whoa, dude.
So good.
I couldn't wait to do that.
Also, fucking fully punches Joyce in the face.
Fully,
Yeah,
and then in
She
another
made me do it.
she
made me do it.
The narcissism of the she made me do it. Guys, do you think that fucking Crisp modeled his performance after Robert De Niro in Cape Fear?
Cape Fear came out after this movie.
Did it really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Cape Fear came out after this
never
movie.
mind. I'm sorry.
I did not see it.
My son doesn't even know me because of you. Gaslighting his son right away. He's like a full-on narcissist.
Yeah.
No, he's a victim of a narcissist. Also
a narcissist. Yeah. He's the victim that turned like Bossa was to our mother, and then our mother even to our mother.
Sister's my new mother.
And we're just Alex and I are just the damaged children of narcissists.
That's very true.
And then he asks Dominic if he understands, and he says, "Say I understand." Daddy.
Yes, that's also such a like repeat to me that you understand. Like
Yeah,
tell me like forcefully like being to a kid like you understand, right?
And when he's cornered, he pulls the most dick move of putting the gun on Dominic.
Yeah.
Chasing this kid for the entire movie, and then like just the most signifier evil just puts a gun on a kid. Which never looks redeemable ever.
No.
I'm surprised this guy like did this. That's such a career killer. Like
totally.
You're the guy who pulled a gun on a kid in a movie.
Totally.
It's a classic panicky move to show us that he's a pathetic guy that has, that doesn't care about anything.
And Schwartzy goes, he's not your hostage, he's your son.
And that's how they show how good a guy Schwartzy is.
Schwartzy's such a good guy.
He's learned so much.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then he goes, fucking fully murders him.
Yeah, because he goes, the boy is mine. He's my boy. You get your own damn family. And then the ferret who never bites people.
Mentioned so many times.
Bites
at a perfect moment.
Yeah.
Jumps out of Dominic's vest and bites the bad guy.
Yes. And he goes,
so satisfying.
And he shoots Schwartzy in the leg. And Schwartzy shoots him in the chest like 7 times. He pops off like 4 rounds at him.
But then Mother comes.
Sister's my new mother.
Of course. And it's a good moment because Mother sees her dead son.
This fucking impression is amazing.
And she's still cold. But she's like, the family must go on.
Yes. Where's my grandson? And he goes, go to hell. And he's writhing in pain from his wounds. And she goes, that's where you're going. And in the most perfect final climax moment, he gets saved by Phoebe.
Exactly.
Which is so cool.
Exactly, because it's women on women, because it's like the mother and the partner, the final countdown. I love it.
His boss was the dad, was Crisp, and the real boss is the mother.
Exactly.
Because she's the but do you think that's a patriarchal move as well? Because you're cutting.
But I loved it. It was so satisfying. And she comes at her with the baseball bat.
Yeah.
Like the violence of the reality of it was so satisfying.
But also just a phallus. Like just a dick.
That is true.
And in a direct to camera fucking scene, Phoebe goes, "You're not so tough without your car, are you?"
That was amazing.
Amazing.
And delivered it in a way that, like, whoa, dude, only someone who looks like Jane Curtin from Third Rock from the Sun could deliver a line like that.
Oh
I'm
my
so
God,
glad
that's
both
so
of you got
true.
that reference.
Oh my
That's
God.
amazing. That's amazing.
She fully looks like Jane
She
Curtin.
does. And the hair is the same. And yeah, amazing.
Mr. Kimball is being wheeled out in a stretcher, and a bunch of kids run over to him crying. And the stranger redhead kid says, "Mr. Kimball, are you all right?"
Oh, it's the same kid that said stranger.
Immediately, I thought of the Millhouse scene from Simpsons. He can't hear you. His ears are packed with gauze.
Oh my God, there's gonna be so many good drops in this, dude.
Because like he goes, "Mr. Kimball, are you all right?" And Schwartzy's just passed out. They cut to Schwartzy for so long, almost as if it's a reaction shot. It was such a meme.
Totally. But not just that, like, fucking Dominic just found out this dude was his dad and got shot in front of him.
And he also put the gun on his head.
On his head. Like, this kid is fucked. This kid is traumatized. This kid's gonna piss in his bed forever.
The kindergartners run after Mr. Kimball's audience, and they all love him now. And guys, I got really misty-eyed here. This was like this tearjerker scene really worked on me. Like, I really believed all the like. The thing that really works in this movie is the relationship building.
Yeah.
And it's part of Schwartzy's like kind of trajectory into becoming good guy territory, which is whatever. It's like, I compared this movie at the end to like a bad Home Alone.
It is a bad Home Alone.
Because like, it's not like Home Alone, but it's like a kid movie in the sense that like it's firing on all cylinders for like kid signifiers of good and evil. You know who the good guys are right away. You know who the bad guys are. It's funny, but it's also violent, and it's also scary, but just enough like kid scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I feel like it's like a Home Alone.
Thirsty for more.
It's got a very classic, like, narrative structure. But the interesting thing about his career in the canon of Schwartzy, this is dipping his toe into, I'm no longer going from bad guy to anti-hero. I'm transitioning into just a good guy.
Just a good guy.
Just a family man.
Yeah. It all like, it's such a like a fairy tale.
Yeah.
Like a kid's fairy tale, because at the end, like, you know,
Tough guys don't eat Jell-O.
Yeah, Phoebe goes into the hospital. It's like, oh, everything is over. We're all good. She kisses him on the mouth.
I loved that, actually.
I love that too, and I was like, wow, yeah, you guys do actually have more chemistry than
It's literally the best Schwartzy kiss I've ever seen.
It's the best Schwartzy kiss next to Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, yeah,
but
that was a great one.
And then we get the clumsy fiance
Who walks in again and like hurts Schwartzy's leg.
That was amazing. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah. I mean, it was sweet. But then, of course, the final climax is like, oh, the curtain down.
Yeah.
Is when he comes back to the school, picks up this like all-American blonde girl, like, and kids are cheering. It's like, oh, victory!
Yeah.
This is what all of us want in life.
Morbid Lowell even says, "They're gonna do it." It was cute. I mean, like, I get what you're saying, and you're totally right, but it worked on me. Like, this ending was the like happy ending, Hollywood ending I wanted out of this movie. Like, it was the like, Kevin, what did you do to my room? You know, like, it was like so happy.
But I know, but it was also sad that they were like, oh, maybe he'll reach out to his kid. Can we see his kid? Like, I mean, he's 13, but he's not dead. Like,
I know.
there's still
like,
time.
That's what I mean. Like, he's not a good person still.
Can I tell you guys a hilarious how did you guess?
How did you guess?
Yes.
Schwartzy was supposed to die in one version of this movie.
Whoa!
I can see it.
totally see that.
Like,
If it was taken into one like Danish cinema direction.
Yeah, I mean, it could have justified all of the weird. If this was played as a drama, I feel like it would have worked a little better.
Guys, how many Schwartzys did you give this movie?
Okay, guys, I'm new at this rating thing. This is my first episode. I'm doing it. So how many Schwartzys?
Yeah, that's how Schwarzenegger this movie is.
To me, this I was never a fan of Schwarzenegger in general. Like, to me, it was just this American hero that, it was kind of like, it wasn't a thing that you would brag about, like liking him or his movies.
Sure.
And I was never,
You're wrong, but sure. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So this movie is, to me, like the most Schwartzy movie.
Okay. So this is a 10 out of 10 Schwartzys for you?
Well, I guess Terminator 2 is the most. So I would give it a 9.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I give this a 6.5 Schwartzys. Dude.
I give this a fucking 4. 4 Schwartzys. In fact, this is so lacking Schwartzy. In Kindergarten Cop 2, Dolph Lundgren is the main character.
But
all right, soldier.
Well, that's the spirit, soldier.
How is it not a Schwartzy movie? He's very Schwartzy.
He's charming. He's charming, but he doesn't
funny,
have.
He's a good actor. He has one-liners.
He's a good actor.
He has
He's a good actor. He's charming, but he doesn't have good one-liners. These are not good one-liners.
He does, especially in the first part of the movie.
They're outrageous.
They're outrageous one-liners. We didn't talk about the one-liners in this movie, but I think they're bad. I'm sorry, Anna. I disagree with you.
My Place Next Time.
My Place Next Time was good. Yeah, no.
And who are you? I'm a party pooper.
No, Party Pooper's terrible. Party Pooper's terrible.
See, no, but you know what? That's such a European sensibility to like that. I love that. I love that she likes that. Oh, that's amazing.
It's totally someone who doesn't understand what good one-liners are.
Fuck you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and as a movie, I don't know.
Well, yeah,
I would give it a 6.
Yeah, I give it a 6.
Yeah,
I mean, like it was a good kid movie. See, that's what worked for this movie is that like the premise is very naive and childlike. So watching it as an adult is interesting because obviously the movie lacks nuance, but there are things that really worked for me. Like I said, like just the economy of storytelling, the signifiers.
Absolutely. It's such a tight story. It's like such a tight fairy tale. And it's also like, it's like this dangerous, like whatever, but it's actually fully, this movie is about kids being cute and a ferret.
Totally.
And a ferret.
Well, it's got so many things that are way more for adults than there are for kids in a way that's not like Disneyfied where it's like, oh, I can laugh at this. It's like, whoa, dude, this is really scary. Like if somebody was chasing my
children.
kids,
yeah.
Actually, another how did you guess is that they thought that this movie would have done better if there had been less violence in it, but Ivan Reitman thought it was important to show this kind of violence.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
But obviously seeing this movie through a 2019 lens is like pretty disappointing with like all of the like coded misogyny and homophobia.
And gay panic.
Yeah, homophobia is pretty bad. And like all of this stuff like, I am the man, what it means to be a man, don't be nothing but a man. Yeah, it's all about, and like, I also think it's one of those movies that America is really famous for, of like pandering to like this middle class, like family lifestyle values when you're like, oh, this is what actually everyone wants.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to live in the city and do things and go to parties.
And do drugs.
Exactly. Everyone just wants a sweet, good little life.
Well, all city life leads to is dying like Cindy.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
That's true.
Who was the funnest character in this movie?
I'm joking.
She
wasn't
I
the
don't know.
funnest character, but
Emma was the funnest character.
Emma was the sweetest character.
Yeah, Phoebe was the
Phoebe
funnest
was
character.
the funnest character, and I have to say, like, still for this movie, her character is amazing, and I love her character, and I think it's good.
Schwartzy's like, I guess, like a little bit inconsequential personality wise in this movie, because like
that's what I'm saying. 4. I'm not like.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not like you don't necessarily go to Kindergarten Cop for a Schwartzy movie.
Yeah, I do, but yeah.
Well, that's because you didn't like him before.
Exactly.
But now, do you like him? What's your perspective on him now? Now that you're watching the movies congruently with us, that we're forcing you to watch these movies.
I know. My biggest surprise is that he's a good actor.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people's big surprise because they can't see past the accent.
Do you have a person, a movie that is something that surprised you in terms of, oh, I didn't think I would like this movie? Because Leela had a few of those where it was like, oh, I've never seen Total Recall. And then she watched it, she was like, that was actually amazing. Did you have a movie like that?
I mean, Running Man. Running Man is really
such a good choice. But then again, all of them would have been good choices.
I know, but also I think because I missed the whole like seeing these movies as a child.
Yeah.
I don't care that much.
That's like a perspective to have. It's legitimate, totally legitimate. Because it's like I watch some movies now and I'm like, Goonies? No, I don't like that movie.
I can't do Goonies. I can't fucking do Goonies. I'm sorry.
I mean, Star Wars?
No,
I can't do Star Wars. Fuck Star Wars.
Yeah, fuck StarArs.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? The new ones are better. They have way more better characters.
Can I say one more? How did you guess for the?
How did you guess?
Okay, Jack Nicholson, Danny DeVito, Bill Murray, and Patrick Swayze were all considered for the role of John Kimball.
Oh, those are all terrible.
And have you noticed that Patrick Swayze's been in the running for all of Schwartzy's movies?
You know what though? He is a really interesting choice for all of the characters that would be.
But I don't see Patrick Swayze being as iconic as Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, that's why he didn't get any of those roles.
That's true.
Definitely.
He probably hates him.
Well, he's iconic in a different way.
He probably hated his guts.
He's iconic in a different way. He's iconic in a slender 80s way rather than a beefy 80s way. Because like Paul Hogan was also one of those heroes where it was like, Paul Hogan? Like it's like Van Damme, Sylvester Stallone, Schwartzy, and it's like, Patrick Swayze. Patrick Swayze?
Paul Hogan?
And then it's like, oh yeah, and Paul Hogan, you know, Crocodile Dundee? Crocodile Dundee?
Okay.
It's like they don't make movies like that.
Anna, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I know you were really nervous about this. You did amazing.
Yeah,
you were amazing.
You did such a good job.
Thank you so much.
Anna, you did such a good job.
Guys.
It was a pleasure.
Do you know what next week is? I'm sorry. Do you fucking know what next week is, Alex?
What's next week?
It's fucking Terminator 2.
Oh my god, Terminator 2! Speaking of Terminator 2, we should post that picture that he posted for James Cameron's birthday.
Definitely. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.